Hello and welcome to part one of First Light. I'm George Coll. Part one of a three-part series, and I'm working on a 11 by 16, and today was block-in, so we covered the whole canvas in just 30 minutes and took our best educated guess at the major shape color values. In other words, the value of color. Is it too light, too dark? And somewhere like a red has a 0 to 10 color value. So each color has that. All right, so I go through that step by step. Stay tuned for that and get outside and paint. Paint with your friends. Get critiques and don't be discouraged by a white canvas. Keep painting, in other words. If you do this regularly, you get good pretty quick. All right, bye-bye. Let's get this thing going. Hello and welcome to part one of a three-part series titled First Light. I think that's what my title is going to be on this. I don't know, it could change. But anyway, this is the Tetons, and I just love this reference. I'm doing this one, and I'm going to use it as kind of a primer or a warm-up for a bigger painting later in the week, which will be a 20 by 30. So this is, I believe, 11 by 16. And what we're going to do is map out, see how we're doing on some of this. I've painted this previously, but smaller, and we'll see what we can come up with here. All right. So let's go with a little bit of blue, a little bit of transparent oxide red, and light gray. Just a tad more blue, a little bit more blue, and we will be ready to get started. All right. So let's get started with something to just get some good shapes on here. And I'm going to use, whatever you prefer. I'm using a number 4 Rosemary 2025. And I want to come up with a horizon line which will be a little bit above center. You see, there's no horizon on this. Well, I'm looking for a flat line, or somewhat flat, and I see it right here in the photograph, right up in this area. And it might even go up a little farther, we will see. So it's going to be one of those, and then from there we're going to have some mountains. So I'm going to have major mountain here. And then it's going to be a dip, and then another. And from here, this is going to go down this way. And there's going to be a kind of a bowl here. And now we're going to have some other mountains, kind of another mountain almost as big, right in here. And then a little one, and then a big one coming in this way. Then we have kind of a, I don't know what this is, but another background mountain. This is the Taggart trailhead area in the Tetons. And across here, we are going to have kind of a light showing somewhere up in here. Okay, with that, I know we're going to have some big trees over here, but we've got to start thinking about this stream. And, you know, this morning I've been so rushed I have not made a sketch. And that is starting to really show right now how kind of fumbling along here a little bit. So that's going to be the bush over there, and we have more bushes here, And I'm going to put a hill coming down here, and then I'm going to have bushes, maybe a hill here, and I have bushes coming over to here maybe. Well, where's the other side of the stream, you're asking? Let's think about that. Yes, get that in. We'll get a nice big reflection off of this thing. Okay, that should get us going here. I made more stream than I think is actually there, just so I can get more reflection. All right, let's figure out where these bushes are going to be. So we're going to have bushes here, come down here, and they're going to come down here, and then we're going to have another bush here, and he's going to go right up into here. Let's make him a little smaller. So that's going to be bushes, bushes. So where's the pine trees? Let's work on that next. Okay. Okay, I know we've got some bigger guys. Let's get some blue. Transparent oxide red. Transparent oxide brown. Brown. It would help if I clean my brush. More blue. More transparent oxide brown. And let's throw some viridian in there too. And I know we have some big trees right in this area. And another even bigger one right next to it. Wider, I mean, but not as tall. And I'll just put something over here as to emulating maybe one going off. And then I have these pretty nice darks in the bottom of these bushes. Why is my canvas moving around so much? Okay. And here we go with some more darks that are going to go over to here. And some more darks that go here. Oh, that might have been too big of a bush. I might have to bring that down on the top. All right, where are the rest of these trees? Let's go after it. Same mixture. And let's do some I'm going to put hills here instead of flats. And more stuff back in here, more of the same. And maybe a few more back in here. All right, so what else? I'm going to put some trees coming in here. And let's see, let's put a flat here at the base of this hill. And then we're going to have, I think, lighter design here of coming down, of trees coming down from the hill. Uh-oh, I heard a little funny noise. What was that? Did one of my cameras stop? No, no, no. Sorry for this interruption, but I knew to see what that pretty little sound was. Everything's recording. Okay. And we still have 20 minutes here. Whew. That scared me. And I need this lighter. Let me get more green in this too. There we go. This is lighter, I think. Or gray. And a little bit more back in here. There's just like trees back in here. Okay. And then there's and we'll have some trees in the background here. Whew. I'm kind of composing when I go. This is why it's important. You should have a sketch before you start one of these things. So do what I say, not what I do. Some of the best preachers in the world say that. Okay, let's switch to, see if we can, since we're in this cool phase, let me see what I can do with this. I'm going to add more gray to this, gray, and I need to add some green. I'm going to add some light viridian, and a little bit of darker viridian. Some, I don't know, some green in here, silvery green. And then I need a darker version, so I'm going to go blue, viridian, it was ultra blue, and I'm going to add some light gray to it. Ah, that didn't do it, darn it. Sorry. I'm going to add some yellow ochre and ultra blue to this. There we go. Nice dark color, but not as dark as what we have with the bushes, I think. He says confidently. Look at this, I've got white on my glove already. All right, with the darker stuff, let's get in here. Darker, added just a little bit of Gamsol, a little bit more blue, a little bit more ochre. I'll put some viridian in there too, viridian. So that was ultra blue, yellow ochre, and viridian. And just a touch of Gamsol. Just trying to get these colors in here where I can get some sense of how they're, to have a base to balance these colors. But taking my best guess at mixture and looking at the reference. Let me see if this is going to be too light. Oh, that's lighter. I like that. Little bit of Gamsol, little bits. Don't muck it up with a bunch of greasy looking shiny stuff. We want this stuff thin. I ought to put some bushes in there. But I will work on top of that later. And make this a little darker. And a little bluer. I'm going to use some royal blue into the mixture. Come on, Laura, this is kind of a weak mixture, and I'm going to put that in. I did some editing on this thing, and what I want to do is get some light, like lights shining up, the first lights coming in, some warms up in this, where the mountains are coming down. And I think I'm going to go a little lighter in here. I'm going to add some light gray. I'm going to add more royal. Boy, that is a weak royal. And get that into here. It's also dry. Okay. Very good. Let me get back. Okay. Let's go even lighter now on this mixture. I'm adding some white and some gray and just a touch of light viridian. Might be too light, but I'm getting that up in this area here. And in here, and this is kind of mucked up already, so I'm trying to clean it up. I want to go a little darker here on this bank, but maybe a little lighter than the other side, so I'm going to add some cobalt to this mixture. Cobalt. And I want to get some of this darker mixture into here. I'm going to hold off on the water till I get the sky in and figure out where that's going to go after I figure this. I want to get a little bit of a rusty look on the top here. So I'm going to go for these bushes. Sorry. I know you're not mind readers, so I need to tell you what I'm doing. And I'm going to get some alizarin. And it's kind of a rusty red. And I'm going to put that in. It's a little too dark. Let's lighten that up with some yellow. There we go. It's nice. And let me get that up into here. And here. And I think with this, I'm going to have some vegetation coming out of this area, so I have some connection between these darks and these darks down here, connection between A and B. So I'm going to make some connections. It's going to be hard because I'm working on wet paint here. But I think that might be a good way to... That worked. Why didn't it work there? And I'll bring some darks right into here. And I'll have some coming trying to get into here, but they're not making it. And let me get these higher. Just trying to bolster these guys up just a little bit more with some value. Just all right. Still think I need something in this area. So what I'm going to do is put some darks and I'll make some design of bushes here, sage or something of that sort. And I'll make him a little bigger. I might have to bring him down just a little bit this way. And maybe more like this. Okay. I think these over here, boom, boom, need to be closer to the water. So I'm going to make these closer to the water. And I'll make him closer to the water. And I'll get more darks on him. And him, and him. And I'm going to bring some more even closer. And I'll get some rust on these guys if I can. Here. That'll give some sense of what's going on here. I might even put a tree right in here. You know, if you can't, you know, you can always modify your reference. Say, okay, what works on the photograph is fine, let's start there, but, you know, do your composing here too. All right, how am I doing on time? 8 minutes, almost 8.5 minutes, good. So let's simplify this and get rolling up above. I need to get rid of some of this stuff here. And start pumping. Okay. Just telling me I have a yoga class in 45 minutes. Yeah, I get that. Wow, where does the time go? I'll tell you, it just speeds by here. All right, let's get a mixture. So I'm going to get some ultra and white. And a little bit darker on one side with cobalt. So I'm going to have a little bit darker with cobalt and ultra here, and lighter ultramarine blue here. So let's go with a little bit darker and see what happens, like with this mountain is supposed to be darker. And I think we need some darks at the base of some of these here. Some darks, but actually I think a little bit more in the way of lights. So I am making a good attempt at doing that here with these. I'm not easy on my brushes. And I think this has to go off this way. And I think for now we can move that over to one side, and now we've got to get up into our warms. So, I'm going to think about two mixtures, and I better change brushes, I think, because we're going to warms. You know, when you do a major shift change like that from warms to cool, you're going to have some left in your brush no matter how well you try to clean it. So we will go to a different brush. It's the same size. It's a 2025 number 4. Rosemary. Okay, so let's get some transparent oxide red. Too much. And let's get some white and some gray. And let's get some Naples. And before I get into those warms, I need to go back to my old brush and get some shadows in. What I mean by that is shadows and more shadows. And I think we'll put a bigger shadow right in here. Okay. Now back to the warm brush. Actually, I think I'm going to have something with a little bit more flat on it. I don't know what this brush is, but it's a soft brush. I think it's still quite usable. And it's about the size of a 4, but it's got a lot of flat left on it. I'm pretty rough on my brushes, so. Now I know there's oranges and all kinds of other interesting colors up in here, but for now I'm just trying to get one in to get some comparison of how am I doing? Is this too dark? Is it too light? You know, it's a good start, but I know I'm going to have to work on some darks and lights within this color when I get to the balance phase tomorrow on part 2. And so I'm saying don't freak out, you know? Relax. Take it easy. Okay, so far so good. I think it's a good solid color to put in, and but we are now running kind of late. So I'm going to have to make some sort of a yellow here. I'm wondering if I can use any of this, but let's just start with some yellow. Too much, and throw some titanium white here on this yellow. And a little bit of the mountain color. Too much, man, that stuff is strong. Go easy. I'm going to add a little touch of gray to it. Touch of gray, come on. More white. Now I think I'm in the neighborhood. I like this right here. Oh boy. Mucking up both sides of this guy and getting it on. There's too yellow, so I'm adding more gray, more white. There we go. Yeah, we don't want the sky to steal the color. We want the top of the mountains to steal the color and have the focus instead of the sky. That's why I dulled it down just a little bit with that gray. Okay, oh, that's working nicely. Okay, let's get some of this yellow up into here. And then let's go down to some blue. blue ultra. And I have to lighten that up. And we'll put that in down here. And whatever other colors we'll put up in the mountains, pinks or reds or anything like that, we'll also put in between here in the water. And that's just a start. And just to do it, let's maybe make it some sort of pink I want in here. Well, this might be too much, but you'll get what I mean. I want to put a pink up in here. But boy, I sure screwed that up. So let me dull that down. Dull it down, please. Up, there's my dinger. I gotta stop. Thank you so much for part one, for the sunrise, early sunrise, or whatever we're calling this thing. It's the Tetons. And we'll see you in part two, and we'll get more detailed with the balance of color. All right. Bye-bye.